This is Fano with an hour with a wolf pack, and this is my segment Stepping Out of Babylon, and this is day 56, and today's date is March 17th, 2016. And today I did the usual morning diet. When I got home, I'd made 3 eggs, and then did some stuff, and then since St. Patty's Day, I decided to have another meditation meal. I had corned beef and cabbage. Yeah, I don't know, corned beef, even though it was fucking probably GMO meat. I didn't really feel like, didn't really make me feel sick or nothing. And then just had my nighttime usual diet. I guess today, I mean, no food cravings, but I guess like the thoughts. And today, like, I just kind of realized how how like we all do things for like money, which is energy. And then I realized people don't like really have an idea or a grip on the real reality of life. Like, I get like you gotta work a job and you gotta go do stuff and you gotta like live, I guess, in the city, but we're so far gone, and it's all like subconsciously far gone that you don't even realize, or people don't realize how like you wouldn't really be able to survive in nature. Like, it's kind of crazy. Like, we have like pets and we have all these like things, but they're I mean, there's really no need for, like, no one's growing food. No one really has anything. They just got like condos and houses that they don't really even own, and it's just like really bizarre. And the weirdest thing about it too is like the day-to-day people who make a lot of money or who make good money, uh they don't know shit about eating right. And people don't know shit about even how their animals eat right. It's like, say if you had some fish, you would just believe your fish eat fish food, not even questioning what do fish eat. Or you have a turtle, what does a turtle eat? Or you have a dog, what does a dog really eat? And like, I get it. People say like, well, all these domestic animals, you can't feed them what they naturally ate because then they'd get sick. And I just like think like, no, that's like saying like you as a human being can't eat what you naturally fucking supposed to eat because you live in like the city or something. So you have to have your vaccines. You have to like do all this stuff. It's like, no, it's bullshit. Like, and people believe shit so much because I think what it really boils down to is that people's jobs are businesses. And so when you're learning stuff or getting a degree, it's in a business format. It's really not what's the best like idea or right way to do it. It's just like what's good for business. Like a doctor. What's good for business, doctor? Well, to sell you pharmaceuticals. Or what about vets? They gotta sell you pills. They gotta sell you this. I mean, you think about reality here. If there was no money to make and any of those doctor systems, and it was all about just helping people, I don't think they would push pharmaceuticals. I think they would push just telling people to eat right. And if fucking something crazy happens and someone needs a surgery, then whatever. But I don't even think at that rate they would use metal and other stuff that's really bad for the body. So, I don't know. It's just, I guess when I get really frustrated is because I, I personally have to go to work and deal with people's energies and things, and I don't know, like, just to say, maybe in a perfect world, I would want to, like, just live on a farm and maybe deal with 30 people. Like, I feel like dealing with a small fraction of people that you hunt and you grow food and you do stuff with is way better than interacting with thousands of people that you don't even have any connection with at all. Like, it's really bizarre when you really consciously become aware of how many people we interact with, and there's really no point, no bond. Like, what's the point of bonding with these people or bonding with all these animals that, we don't really, there's no point. Like, I think I was like watching something about politics, or I don't know, something on this. I think it was, I don't know. It's something where these people were like asking people like, who hates Muslims or something? Is it Trump, Hillary, or Obama? Like, everyone basically said Trump, and it's just pretty much based off of what the media tells you. But even though like Obama sends droids and planes and stuff and blows up a bunch of Muslims, like, I guess he doesn't hate them because he blows them up. It doesn't make any sense. And Hillary does the same thing, and it's just like, and Trump hasn't really done any of that. He just like said stuff about not letting in just like radical Muslims. So I don't know. It's like my conscious decision is like everyone should go back to where they're from. I don't understand why people are going to different places where your energy's not from. Like, I don't even think Europeans should be in America. It should just be brought back to the Indians. Like, the Indians should get all America, and that should be it. And the Europeans should go back to Europe. And everyone else just go back to where you came from. But people are so lost in the sauce that they're like, no, we made this country. We made all this stuff. And it's like, what are you talking about? Like, do you understand, like, your skin color is a certain color because you're born in a certain area and you evolved into that color to absorb sun. So you technically are not supposed to be living anywhere that your skin wouldn't really work at. It's like having an African and putting him where the Eskimos are. It just doesn't make sense. Or it's like putting like a super white European guy in Africa. They're not gonna really live as long or be as healthy. But like, no one thinks about that or wants to talk about it or say that's even a good point. And I think the world now it's just be like, you know what? If you want to go back to where you're from, we should all be able to go back to where we're from. And if we're mutts, then I think there should be like a island for the mutts or something where like no one lives, or there's where no one lives. Like, all the people that are mutts should just go there. So everyone who's just mixed with so much shit, you don't know what the hell you are, should go live there. Or you could pick the thing that you're most mixed with and just decide to start making your genome more pure. I don't really understand what's this point of crossing different races. I just don't get it. Like I understand nature stuff does that. I mean, I don't even know. I haven't really looked it up if different species, they cross species on accident to make a better species. And there's like evolution where they evolve to certain aspects, but we've already done that, so why are we crossing everybody? Like, it doesn't really make sense. And then if that's the whole, like, okay, so we're supposed to be like this one type of gene or skin color, I mean, it doesn't make sense. Like, you can't naturally, like, live. I don't know. It's just like whatever your skin color is, you're supposed to live in a certain area of the world. And it's all based off of how much sunlight there is, so your skin absorbs the right amount of nutrients. I just don't understand why no one talks about this. But that's why, like, I can't, like, all these, like, stories I hear, and I watch stuff online, like, aliens and all this stuff, it's like, I just really believe it's, like, one guy, or it's just, like, it's, the whole universe is just corrupting, or it's, just collapsing on itself, so all this crazy shit's just gonna happen, because then that's it, then you're gonna die, and then you're gonna, like, move on, if you're, like, a pure divine energy. If not, then, you know, you'll get repentant or whatever the hell happens to you. But I just can't, like, consciously be more conscious in this world and, like, accept all the BS, because it's really crazy. It's crazy how everything is, and I wish I could just go away and not be in this craziness and kind of just be in a tribal situation, or even just have all the technology we have, but, like, still just only grow food and build houses and shit. Like, I don't understand. There's a lot of jobs out there that are just beyond pointless. Like, people serving fast food, or people repairing soda machines. Like, couldn't these people be doing something better, like growing food or building houses? Like, why do we have people doing things that don't even matter? Like, that's such a waste of energy. It's so crazy. It's crazy. And those are just a few aspects. There's, like, probably, like, millions of jobs that people do that make no fucking sense. I mean, at least people could be building, like, shoes, or they could be, like, making clothes or making weapons. I mean, geez, you know, there's some jobs out there that are good, and there's a lot of just crap. So I guess that's the whole thing. It's like mentally dealing with all this madness. And, like, the only way to shut it off is just to pretty much do it to distract you, which is drinking, drugs, eating bad food, watching TV, you know, being in your fantasy. Like, that's the only way to not deal with it. I mean, you can even not deal with life by being in, like, a relationship. That's just someone who's just lost in the sauce, too. And so I guess the bigger question then is any of this going to change, or is this always going to be crap, you know? Like, is there any way to change crap? And I think, like, honestly, I don't know. Unless people, like, really start making, like, tribal villages, you know, like, rich people with money that can make, like, a tribal town and have 50 people living there, and they all have jobs, and it's all about just growing food and shit and building, like, stuff and learning new technology and just, like, working in your little town. Then I think, dude, that stuff could change, because then people would realize, like, wow, all these little small towns that work in communities types of deal work out versus all these large cities. And I think that idea in itself, if everyone just started doing that around the world, stuff would change. Like, having small little tribes everywhere with technology, but we trade with each other. Like, we govern ourselves versus having this manifestation of something taking care of us or governing us or all that, but I mean, I guess you could still even have that, but but in reality, that entity doesn't really matter. It doesn't trump what these little villages want to do. And you should be able to like go to village if you want or whatever. But I mean, will that really happen? Gosh, I don't know. I don't think so unless people with tons of money decide that's a good idea and instead of being really selfish and just taking care of yourself through a house and businesses, then no. I mean, people could make a conscious decision to like not buy condos, not buy houses, and just save up to build land or to buy land and build villages. That would be cool. That would be smart. But I mean, I guess it's like the same idea of telling people maybe you shouldn't have pets. Because do you realize that you're endorsing the pet food companies? And where do you think they get all that shit? And do you think it's organic or it's a bunch of GMO stuff? Like, but that's maybe the whole point of the game, that it's so like entwined with so many things. It's so bad that it can't fail. So I don't really know. I mean, but the tricky thing, if you think about the cities don't cover that much of the world. Like, there's a lot of space out there that's infested with animals and insects and plants and shit that'll just kill you. And yet, all we're really talking about is these little areas. Like, even in each state, there's only so much land that people actually live on. A lot of it's the wilderness. So even when we think we run in rural areas or people have nuclear missiles or something and think they can do whatever they want, I mean, the reality with the nuclear stuff, it's like, do people not know what's happening in Fukushima? Like, I was reading an article about it, and they were saying like how they've been sending robots, and robots been blowing up, and they can't stop the leakage. And do people realize that all that radiation is just dumping into the ocean, killing the whole marine life? And what's battling the radiation? And people are still going to the ocean. But then I think too, at the same time, it's like, whose goddamn idea was it to build nuclear power plants that can leak by the ocean where tsunamis can happen? Like, doesn't even make sense. Like, why are there even plants like that? I mean, that's why it's gotta be. I mean, this either has to be like hell, or it's just like a manifestation of so much bad shit happening. Because the other thing too is like, you can talk to a lot of people and they'll be like, "Oh, no, this is like heaven. It's just how you think about stuff." It's like, okay. I mean, I don't know. Like, you're just gonna deny that there's not GMOs, there's not shit in the water, there's not shit in the air, there's not shit in your pet's food, there's not fake thoughts they're giving people and fake realities. And I mean, come on, there's like, maybe you can dismiss a lot of it with thought, but in reality there is a lot of shit that you cannot really say that's not going on. So, I don't know. On to with that. And this is Fano from An Hour with the Wolf Pack. And this is my segment, Steppin' Out of Babylon. And this is day 56. Today's date is March 17th. And I hope everyone lives with love and compassion. Because if you don't love yourself, you definitely can't be compassionate to anyone else.